Good afternoon. So I have to warn you, this story will be not so much about about data you can use very practical in your everyday life, but this will be a story about how we can use OSM to bring into sunlight and into maps some vanishing small architectural forms, which are milk churn stands. So at the beginning, I will tell a bit about milk churn stand history in Latvia and why we are so passionate about it, and then we will tell also about the mapping part and about a webpage which Artūrs built about this topic. So, yeah, I don't know how many of you know something about milk churn stands, or who of you have been sitting on a milk churn stand in your childhood. There are some. Yeah, okay. So yeah, first milk churn stands in Latvia, as far as we know, they appear before First World War, and these are made from cement, and they are located next to dairies because first dairy buildings were made in about this time. And at this time, people who wanted to sell their milk to the dairies, they brought it to the dairy building by horse carriage, and this milk churn stand, this platform, was so that you could get your milk churns comfortably into the dairy building. Yeah, and then time passed by, and first milk trucks appeared in Latvia. And as far as we know, it happened shortly before Second World War, and these were already wooden milk churn stands. So we have read articles in press of this time where press writes that there are such small architectural forms in Nordic countries, and that people in Latvia also can make them to make the milk gathering more comfortable. Yeah, and as a Second World War, of course, stopped some progress, and only in 60s or 70s there were more milk trucks in Latvia, and so people started to build these milk churn stands more and more. And then 90s came when the collective agriculture collapsed, and then people made their individual farms, and each family in the countryside had their own cow, and they wanted to bring this milk to the company who comes by the truck and gathers this milk. And people made their own milk churn stands in the 90s more and more. And then already this century came, and the milk industry became more modern, and milk churns were no more so necessary because the farms grew bigger, and the small farmers are not so many in Latvia. So the milk churn stand situation is becoming not so good, and so here we can see in this picture that nowadays the milk churn stand is standing here in this picture, but the milk is gathered in the milk churns, and the milk truck comes and pumps the milk from the churns with the pump already, and so the milk platform is no more necessary. And yeah, we can go further. But milk churn stands are also quite. You can meet milk churn stands not only in Latvia, but also abroad, especially in Nordic countries. I think Swedes are quite crazy about milk churn stands, because they had a World Guinness record about the biggest milk churn stand in the world. And for example, people in Norway and in Sweden and Finland, they make these milk churn stands and write the names of the place where they live and decorate them before Christmas and before Easter. And so these milk churn stands become as like objects where they represent their place where these people live. Yes, we can go further, and yeah. So it was about 4 years ago when my friend Amanda asked me maybe we could make a milk churn stand Instagram account, because we noticed this year that some local farmers built new milk churn stands because the roads were very dirty this year and the milk truck couldn't drive to the farm, and so the farmers had to bring their milk churns to the big road, to the asphalt, and so the farmers made their own milk churn stands, and somehow we noticed that these milk churn stands are still alive, still unique in Latvian landscape, and we started taking photos of them and asking people to send their photos to us. And milk churn stands are quite unique objects because you cannot buy a milk churn stand in a shop, you know. I think maybe in nowadays they were still useful in Sweden. I think maybe IKEA could make some milk churn stands, you can buy them here. But it's not like that. So if you need a milk churn stand or if you want it for decorational usage, you make it by yourself, by your hands, by your own imagination. And so that's why these objects are really unique and worth taking photos and document them. And then after we had made about 100 pictures of milk churn stands, our friends and people who were following us, they started to ask us, do you have a photo of this milk churn stand or that milk churn stand? And we thought, it's not very easy to scroll Instagram and check whether you have this object or not. And we started thinking about map. But it was just very hypothetical thinking, and we understood that Google is not the best option for it. And then OpenStreetMapper Anna from Ireland, who is also interested in milk churn stand mapping, she found Latvian OSM and Richards, and he found us, and then we found out about OSM mapping. And then we started mapping the Latvian milk churn stands in the map, and here you can see there is actually like a European alliance of milk churn stand mapping, yeah. And I think we can go to the next phase.
Yeah, but there is about 1,500 milk churn stands in whole world. But as we can see, in Lithuania there is almost none.
Yes, I would like later to talk with Lithuanians about this in private. So yeah, and now maybe we can map one milk churn stand in OSM. Yeah. So we have one milk churn stand which is in Latgale, in Oleja, and we already have a photo of this milk churn stand, and we will map this milk churn stand in OSM and add this photo to OSM as well. So I will find the place where I will map it. It's this homestead, and we add a point. And 3 years ago, when we started mapping milk churn stands, there was no special symbol for it, and it was a bit more complicated for me as for a regular person, not for a dedicated mapper. So, but now, yeah, there is also this icon, and so the material of we usually add the material of this milk churn stands because we think that maybe after 10 or 20 years, when wooden milk churn stands will be already dead or demolished, we will still be able to find some metal or cement material ones. So this one is from concrete, And also we will add the tag survey date. And also we will add a description in Latvian, so we will use this tag in our page. And we can save our pages. And so I didn't add the Wikimedia file. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. And I will add this Wikimedia file link. Media accounts, yeah. So, and now we will save it. And yeah, and we uploaded it, and after about an hour it will appear on our page, but so...
We will go back to presentation. So, Vizma told us about history. I really liked Thomas' point where he said that you can collect data, but no one wants the data, and in no map you can at this moment see milk stands because no one gathered that information, and yeah, no one needs it. So we have this question: maybe milk stands need their own web page. Answer is yes, because yeah, you can build a web app or web page, and that we did. You can scan QR code. This will be also a stress test because no more than a couple people have used this page, and yeah. In the beginning, I will show it on Google Chrome. This is how it looks. It looks basically like this. I first time in my life bought a domain, pienagaldi.lv, milk stands. And in the map you can see that locations which are mapped on OpenStreetMap. Data are gathered by API, Overpass API from OpenStreetMap, and also from Wikimedia Commons, where from Wikimedia Commons where we get pictures. And basically, workflow is that Python script gathers information from Wikimedia Commons and from OpenStreetMap. Then it builds a JSON file, and front end is based on HTML file in JavaScript, and all this is built in Leaflet. Yeah, and then you can do what in map services you can always do. You can switch between base maps. This is from Latvian Geospatial Information Agency or Latvian State Forests web map service, Ortophoto. Then you can find where you are in map.
It's your cable. It's cable. Look. This one.
Okay. We are located in here, and sadly there is no milk chance stands around that. Yeah, you can find places with the OSM search engine, and you can identify objects, see information about them, see in what date the pictures were taken. Also, you can go to that Wikimedia Commons page. You can switch to English. I needed to do it in the beginning. And yeah, you can share that specific milk chance stand with your friend via WhatsApp or email. There is gallery view, and you can zoom in and add filter to show only milk chance stands that is in a specific area. And yeah, basically I can show you this also information. This project is public. You can go to my GitHub page and see that there is update data by script which gathers that data, data JSON, and which is which we get from the Py script, and index HTML is basically from it. And also you can see there is some icons which we build that milk charts, and so the map looks beautiful. In the beginning we tried to scrape Instagram data because like Vizma showed that there is an Instagram page, and then somehow connect that with a concrete specific place that Instagram has some protection. Instagram doesn't like when they are scraped. But I think OpenStreetMap solution and Wikimedia Commons solution is great. There is also some additions which could be added later. For example, possibility to send us milk chance stand from specific location. If people get somewhere in the countryside, sees milk chance stand, takes a picture and uploads that in the page, and we get email or something. But that may be later. So that was, I think, almost all that we wanted to tell you today. Here is more about the web maps process. But yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. It was a game to know those existed.
But now you will see them.
Yes. I will look them across Riga, because it's really weird that you have only one in Riga. We have a question in Slido. Do you or your relatives have an actual stand on their property?
Yes. I already showed when I went through the map. That is it here. Of course, it is not. It doesn't function like milk chance stand anymore. It is basically floor stand. Let's tell it that way. But some years ago, yeah, this metal milk chance stand was by the road, and milk truck came and gathered milk and drove it to the factory.
Do you have operational stands somewhere?
Yes, yes, there are, because also on our map you can see locations where we have taken photos with really actual churns. Yeah, for example, this one, it was 2 years ago, and
But how does it work? Do I just drive to it and pour milk to myself? Or
no. It's actually you as a farmer. you bring your milk churn stands here, and then the milk truck comes, and the milk truck driver, it was easier for him to pick the milk churn and pour the milk into the truck, which is quite high, pretty high. He steps by the steps, and it's easier for him.
Right. So it's not for regular people; it's for delivering to trucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically farmers sell their milk to big companies, and companies get that milk and throw it away.
And here you can see on the map that in eastern parts where there are more small farms, they are pretty much of them. But in this Vizma part, where there are very big farms, they are not very popular anymore. Of course, we hope to see some photos from Vizma also in future.
It's weird that in Estonia, milk farms are also in the southern eastern part. So I would expect in Latvia to be in northern eastern part. Yeah, and how do you process, like, some stands are marked with excess, so they don't exist, or what does it mean?
You mean the demolished ones? So
Yes.
The-
What is the process for demolition? Like?
You can, when you map that specific milk churn stand, or maybe that milk churn stand is already mapped some time ago, you can again get back to it, and if you see that in nature that milk churn stand doesn't exist anymore, then you add the tag demolished, and after a while, for now the script runs every hour. After an hour or 2 hours, you can see that changes are mapped also.
Any more questions? No,
This one is this is not a pipe question. You have one milk churn stand mapped in Smiltene.
yes.
Is that a milk churn stand?
This object has a tag milk churn stand, but also it has a tag artwork as well, I think. So
It's a sculpture which is dedicated to milk churn stands.
Yes.
That's how much Latvians like them.
yes. And
Okay, the last question comes from Slido. How many stands are missing in Latvia, in your opinion?
I think that for now we have over 200. I think 200 more are not mapped.
because on Instagram account we have about 300 or plus, but these are those which someone sent us or we found. But there are many of them which no one has sent yet. So if you have any milk churn stand picture, not only from Latvia but from other countries too, you can send us and we will publish them. Thank you.